Um, is it here or was it when they loop back that it shows up?
It's
Well,
here,
we'll see.
baby. It's here.
Leo turns his head in the direction Gudzu points. We all do. What we see changes everything for me from that point on. Sure, things were crazy, and I had a hard time believing anything was happening, but it was explainable. People like Duke, Brian, TJ, even Carl were all seeing things, but it was kind of a distant thing, in a way. Something everyone else was experiencing. Something I was exempt from. But now, there it is. Something I can't explain right in front of me.
What is that?
Oh my god! Holy
TJ
painkillers!
TJ covers his mouth. Carl sits up straight, trying to see.
If only it was just like several interlocking rings, all of them just covered in eyes and like little little feathery wings.
It's just rare from Fear and Hunger.
Yeah, it's just a biblically accurate angel.
Yeah.
Leo slows down as we pass. There's a car, all the windows shattered. And there's Duke, lying a dozen feet away from the open door on the driver's side. And there, crouching over him, is something I can't explain. Hairless, body and limbs long. Way too long. The head comes up and all I see are 3 holes in blood. TJ screams next to me, and Leo shouts something before stepping on the gas, slamming me back into my seat.
Okay, I do want to talk about this real quick, because some people confuse that thing with the Socket Man, and I see, like, the faces are similar, but the Socket Man can fit in, he's a person size. Whereas that thing's got, it's like, all 4 limbs are different size, it's towering over them, it's way bigger. And so I think that they're separate entities.
It kind of looks like it could be, but we don't know anything. We don't really know much about the Socket Man. For all we know, it could be like.
Oh, we know who he used to be.
Maybe it can elongate and shorten its limbs and body.
Because I remember reading about Cthulhu, and Cthulhu could like change the size of itself. Like it could be like just pretty big, but then it could also go to like the size of a continent. So it's like, oh, it's humongous. It can change its shape. Cthulhu can change its shape whenever it wants. Maybe this creature right here is the Socket Man. It can just do the same thing. It can change the size of its limbs and stuff.
Now I'm just imagining that Cthulhu turns himself the size of like a sticker and like hides in somebody's back pocket. They end up taking him over to like New York or something, and he becomes the size of an Empire State Building. Everybody in New York goes insane and dies.
He's like, it's Tuesday for them.
Actually, there's just a Cthulhu action figure. There's only one in the world, and it's actually Cthulhu. And they take it somewhere, and it possesses the person. Like drop it in the water, and just suddenly becomes the size of. It's just like towering out of the water, going, "What's up? Thanks, boy." But it's all echoing in everyone's ears.
You see,
it's all telepathic.
Godzilla plays in a theater. And then when people get out, they just hear this, and then they like see something coming out of the ocean. They're like, "It's Godzilla!" And it's like, "No, it's Cthulhu!" Oh! He slowly walks out.
Yeah, actually, there's like a Japanese person coming out of the Godzilla movie, and he points at the ocean. He goes, "It's Godzilla!" And then like American like looks closer, goes, "It's Cthulhu!"
I tried to look back, but whatever it is gone. At least, it's gone from where I was. Because I see something move next to my window, and I turn to face it, and it stares back at me. But only for a moment. That thing, whatever the fuck it is, disappears almost the instant I register that it's there. I'm only staring out into blackness of the desert. Still, 3 holes. 2 eyes and a mouth blink back at me in a short sort of after image before that too vanishes.
What was that? What was that? Carl, did you summon demons again? We talked about that. The good Lord does not like it.
Remember, Carl, you watched that Fate series and then you suddenly got obsessed with making magic and like red turtlenecks and black skirts for some reason. Come on, Carl.
No, actually, what that is like it's like tendrils of smoke from Carl's joint, and one just turns to him like, Carl, stop smoking in the car.
Like, Carl! That kills me. Alright, TJ's grabbing my arm, claws digging painfully into my skin. I'm too shocked to even pull away as TJ leans forward next to me, staring out my window. At least I know I'm not the only one that saw it. TJ squeaks again when no one answers him.
What was it? Leo, did your love for Chase accidentally summon the portals of hell? Because, I'm for that. Power of love.
I've got it. It is all that gay sex that happens here. It finally summons Satan. I don't know. Some kind of animal, maybe?
I've never seen anything like that before. I, Chase, master zoologist, know all the kinds of animal in the Echoverse. Or Planet Echo.
Could have had a disease? Lost all its fur or something? Maybe Duke hit it.
Although I am sad, there's not going to be any more Duke voice for this route.
I think it's kind of funny when you look at that picture of the creature standing over Duke. Like, it just looks like his head exploded. There's just blood.
It probably did under that thing's foot.
Well, now I gotta go look. Jeez. I mean, yeah, it does look like. I mean, I see brains, so yeah, his head.
Wait, is there actual freaking brains? Hold on, what?
I see what looks like brain above his head. So, and I mean, there's a pretty big splatter mark there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Duke's head exploded.
Yeah, his head probably exploded from that thing. Just like maybe stepping on him. I don't think it bit him and did that, but yeah, it looks like it stepped on him. It sat on with like gigantic ass.
I think it was TJ said, but it was walking?
Yeah.
TJ's arm is looped around mine, and I can feel his body shaking. I look over my shoulder, through the back window. At this point, my car is a good distance away, only visible. At this point, my car is a good distance away, only visible because the headlights are on. A streak of light fading out across the desert.
Geyser?
Just sit.
Okay. Phone Kaiser here, everybody. Everyone's favorite former Kaiser.
We're at Duke is he. We are at Duke is he.
But I was walking. She's on. Point good distance. Duke is he?
Some dry retching noises followed by heavy splattering sounds cuts me off. Carl is hunched over in his seat, head between his legs. It isn't hard to figure out what just happened, especially when the smell hits me.
Oh my gosh, Carl! That's even more horrifying than the monster!
Carl!
Now, see, TJ, this is what happens when you rub people off.
Stuff comes out of their head. TJ looks torn between... TJ looks torn between blanching away and comforting the ram.
Yeah, just rub him some more, TJ. That'll help.
I mean, Carl will start trying to get you away from him, though. But like, stop it! It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. I'm very sensitive right now.
I know.
Carl comes back up, looking like he's about to say something before diving forward again.
He does say something.
Yeah.
He says,
He says,
It's like,
wait. No, he says, ew.
Yeah, you start to-
A much louder retch, followed by a quieter plopping sound follows. I grimace.
Considering how much Carl does throw up, between the intro and the various routes, maybe he does need a lot of weed just to be able to keep food down. Trying to work through his nausea.
Oh yeah, he does throw up in like his own route, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think TJ is at some point.
I grimace, feeling my own stomach roil.
All right,
God.
everyone, time to vomit.
Kudzu's looking back at us, a paw up to his nose. You okay? Carl keeps his head down a while longer, his fingers twisting into the fabric of his shorts. TJ tentatively rubs his back.
I would have done it out the window. I didn't want to open any of the windows though, because monsters only get in if you invite them, right?
Yeah, you have to tell Dracula to enter.
Yeah.
It's okay, bro.
You only have to tell the monster chasing your car that it can come in.
Yeah, which obviously Duke said. So
Yeah. Duke was like, "I'll fist fight you."
I put so many bruises on Brian, I'll punch you too.
Yeah.
It's okay, Leo. Are there any napkins up there? Because a couple napkins is all it takes to fix this.
Do you guys,
Leo, who's been silent up to now, remains silent.
do you guys remember that story where there was I forget what state it was in. It was in some shithole Republican state, but there was the state that was just like, oh, furries crap in litter boxes in school or something like that. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah. All the way up to the Joe Rogan show.
Vaguely remember that. I don't know which state it was in.
Do you know?
A couple of times there was waves of it.
Do you guys know why that teacher had kitty litter in her classroom?
I do.
I don't. Why?
Take a guess.
You had a furry in the class?
I'm bringing it up because it is very relevant to what just happened in game.
Oh, whenever someone throws up, she just throws the litter on it, and it covers up the smell and makes it easy. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't cover up the smell, but the kitty litter just soaks up all the vomit, and then it's really easy to sweep it up and throw it away.
Actually, we use that when I worked at the hardware store. So yeah, pretty much any liquid. Yeah, if there's liquid anywhere, you need to clean it up. Especially oil or gasoline, you just throw kitty litter on it, sucks up, and you can just sweep it up real easy.
Yeah.
The Osh days.
Like, that was the entire reason that she had that stuff. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people watching this. Republican politicians are liars. Don't let them deceive you at all, ever.
Well, the last version I heard of it is actually a school in the Columbine area somewhere, that part of Colorado. And it was part of their preparedness kits so that if, they had to be in like a lockdown situation for, like multiple hours because, shooters or whatever emergency, that then the kids have somewhere to, go to the restroom without moving. They'll have to like be in danger of moving. But like they re-edited it, so they took out like a little chunk in the middle, and then like all the right wingers just flipped out.
It was basically doctored to incriminate furries.
Well, it's to show, to how crazy the schools are, which then they infer that, clearly furries.
Yes, because when furries go, because clearly when animals go take a dump, they don't just do it on the ground. And now I'm just imagining like someone walks into their fursuit, they have like a little zipper in the back, and they just take a dump in the back of the classroom on the floor or something.
Yeah, because dogs who make up a large percentage, I think. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Canids, I think,
Canines, canids make up a good portion of the furry fandom. I guess I have no idea, but because
canines tend to be pretty popular felines are, I think, right behind that.
Yeah, well, it's not like you could ever train a dog to like go to the bathroom in an appropriate place. That's just undoable.
Oh yeah, totally
That's
impossible.
completely-
There is some truth because
Yeah.
no one's ever potty trained a dog.
Who's ever heard of canine potty training? That's just ridiculous.
Guys, I've got it. This is why teachers have newspapers in their classrooms. Oh. When little Timmy needs to go pee.
And he's a furry. He wore, a little dog ear headband once. So clearly he's a furry forever. He's been forever tainted.
This is ridiculous. I like it. All right. Leo, who's been silent up until now, remains silent. He's staring out the windshield. He's staring at the wind? Yeah, I guess it is windshield, yeah. He's staring at the windshield hard. Paws on the wheel in a death grip. After a moment...
I went in and he's just like, I'm super serious. Gotta protect my chula.
After a moment of silence... Kudzu checks the cup holders and drops the glove compartment. After rummaging around for a minute, he pulls out a stack of fast food-style napkins. He hands them back to Carl, who starts mopping up whatever mess he made on himself. During all this, still glancing out the windows. Not head-on, though, because I'm terrified I'm going to look straight into those eyes again. We drive in silence for the next 5 minutes, with no creature in sight, thankfully. But I don't know what to think right now. There's no way I saw that. There's no way what I saw was some animal, like Kudzu implied.
Hey, that's just what happens when you don't feed your giraffe. They turn into that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that happened to my neighbor's giraffe, you know?
Yeah, because giraffes are like super common pets here in America.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you mess with their toys, or us, the giraffe's coming after you.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't eat somebody's pet, it was horrible. You know that image of, like, what is it, Cronus eating his children or something from Greek mythology? It was like that, but it was like that kid who always tries to bully the giraffe. It just had enough of him.
I know. Have you guys seen Tier Zoo? Because he did a whole episode about how OP giraffes actually are.
I think I saw something about that. The way it moved, the way it was crouched, and most of all, its face. I've never seen anything like it, at least anything that's not a Halloween costume. Maybe...
What Spirit Halloween would have that in stock?
I don't know, but I'm interested now. Maybe one of the locals dressed up in a costume or something?
It's one hell of a tall local.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can crush your car and murder Duke. All at once, just because, he's got a costume.
Yeah.
It's a power suit, it gave him superpowers.
Mm-hmm. But then, how the fuck did it keep up with the car? We were going so fast? Were we going that fast? Leo did slow down a little. I keep these thoughts to myself. Everyone looks freaked out enough without any more speculation. So instead I lean back in my seat, deciding to just close my eyes. We're on our way out, and soon I'll be safe in a police station or hospital or something. It'll be explained when the cops get there. The cops get here. I try not to think about Duke on the ground, Janice in the diner, Jenna out there somewhere with that thing. I shake my
Flynn,
head.
who's that?
I shake my head, eyes still closed. Right, TJ?
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, switch back to computer. All right. Are you okay, Chase? Because, actually thinking, that's a new thing for you. I don't know how to react.
TJ's arm is still around mine. The places where our fur is pressed together is getting hot and sweaty. I don't mind, though, as long as it brings... I don't mind, though, as long as it brings him some comfort.
Yeah, I'm just tired. Being nearly raped, kidnapped, running around with this arm bleeding that's still bleeding. We've never addressed that. Uh, my
Yeah.
boyfriend's going crazy. I got hit by a car. I might be a wee bit tired.
TJ, just squeeze my arm really hard and just see if you can get like a fountain, just a good squirt from my arm.
TJ, it's supposed to squirt out my face when that part of your body's not supposed to squirt on people. Actually, now that I mention it, I am pretty tired. Didn't exactly get much sleep in Kudzu's trailer, or Brian's. I start to drift off as my head bumps gently against the headrest, the soft whir of the AC on my forehead.
Oh.
The car lurches as Leo slows us down again. Reluctantly, I open my eyes, half expecting to see some other kind of nightmarish ghoul out of the window. But I don't see anything. Just the road stretching out ahead of us. What's wrong? Leo is quiet for a moment. I can't see his face since I'm right behind him, but I can see the outline of his twitching ears.
I don't.
Leo turns in his seat, looking out the passenger window, then his own.
I'm heading in the right way, right?
I look out the window as well, not seeing anything except sagebrush and cacti. But then I do notice something. The mountains.
I mean, the road is literally has mountains right next to it and then just a cliff drop on the other side. So it's like, yeah, you're not turning around unintentionally.
The mountains,
Yeah.
which had been on the right, are now on my left, rising up ominously in the distance. Had we turned around somehow? Unless we're on the highway, which we definitely aren't. This road merges right onto the highway. There's no way we could have missed it. I hear TJ gasp softly next to me. I look over at him, but he's looking straight ahead, out the windshield. I do the same, and in the distance I can see headlights off on the side of the road.
No way. What is he? I'm Carl. I don't have eyes. But I'm Detective Carl. Behold.
Leo brings the car to a hard stop, throwing me forward in my seat into the seatbelt. Then he does a quick 3-point turn, shoving me right then left before I'm smacked back into the seat as Leo accelerates again.
So here's one thing I want to talk about. I want to inquire. Is this all just a hallucination created by the monster? Because I have this feeling that if they just kept going, like he didn't stop and turn around, and he just kept driving, that they would actually end up in Peyton. Like it's all just a hallucination. Like it's all in their heads.
Again, spoilers from other routes. Since people on the outside also can't get into Echo, I do think it's a dimensional warp thing.
Yeah, it probably creates a demiplane of Echo. And when this happens, it probably creates a demiplane of Echo, and then essentially you're just locked in that until a demiplane dissipates. So it's
Yeah, because
yeah.
the cavalry was trying to show up, but they couldn't until they dealt with the hysteria.
Yeah, so it's probably something where it is essentially a sphere scooped up all of Echo, like a massive one, and you're now in that. Have fun. And when you get to an edge, it kind of just there's probably a liminal barrier that you can drive into. And when you get to the end of that barrier, it just flips you around and you come back in going the opposite way. So you don't, accidentally just drive through yourself. That would be kind of problematic.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Oh, careful, my parents will kill me. Dad, it's a hybrid in 2015. It's the Toyota Prius Ramo edition.
Carl laughs nervously, but no one pays attention to him.
I need weed.
I was going straight.
Which is hard for me, but I did it.
Boom! Zing!
There's that side of the road that takes you off to the trails. Maybe we sort of went off and on with, not noticing any gravel. But do you guys want to go for a hike? I'm TJ, that's my characteristic.
Leo snaps at the link suddenly.
There's no way, TJ. I would have noticed.
Leo is hunched in his seat like an angry dad, staring out the windshield, his ears practically dancing on his head.
I can only imagine it's like Mr. Incredible, just like hunched over. They get it towards the end of the movie. Are we there yet, Dad? We get there when we get there.
I'm just imagining Mr. Incredible and that monster squaring up. He just punches the shit out of it.
Yeah, he probably would.
He's just beating the fuck out of that thing.
He takes a swing, he just disappears and off the cliff.
He's like, oh yeah? Catch me up here. Just fly straight up.
But I also think it's funny that it says like his ears are dancing on his head, and that just makes me think of like another visual novel. Arlen, I think his name was, Big Rabbit. That's more for like Kaiser and other like long-term fans of Echo. They know who I'm talking about, because that was like his characteristic, like twitch whenever he was like unsure or nervous. Like his ears would be dancing on his head too.
Yep.
I can feel TJ trembling, so I lean into him a bit, letting him know that I'm there. It's clear that Leo doesn't want any more talking, so we're all quiet. This time I keep my eyes open, staring out the window in case Leo did get sidetracked somehow.
Dead?
Well, he was just staring at Chase in the rearview mirror and just like, oh, oops. And none of us noticed that he spun out and started going the other way.
Yeah, you know?
And no one else noticed that that gravel road actually got paved recently, so that's exactly what happened. Leo could focus on the road.
You see, Carl just had all those hallucinogenics that he had taken. Then when he vomited them up, the like fumes or I don't know something made everyone trip balls.
Yeah, he just spread aerosolized DMT through the car.
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah, he had way too many edibles, and then when he vomited, all those edibles became airborne. Made everyone high.
I focus on the mountains, making sure that they don't disappear. They sloped up and down gently under the moonlight, speckled with dark spots of rock and vegetation. Vaguely, I remember back when I had been obsessed with skateboarding and had always imagined myself skating those slopes on my car trips to Peyton. Up and down, if only Echo had anything like that. The only slope we had was the one down from Carl's mansion. That was way too big. I tried to skateboard down it once, but that had ended in disaster when I blink. Staring out the window as the mountains just disappear, slope down into nothing. I squint and then look out Carl's window. Sure enough, mountains.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Would be funny if like it just became like a Monty Python skit, and the mountains just stood up, and they had like these real scrawny legs, and they started dancing, and you could hear them just going, whoop, 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 and they go from the one side of the car to the other, whoop, 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 and then just lay down.
No, I'm imagining more of the Monty Python, like just the weird out of place hand drawing, just immediately scoops the car up and just like spins it around.
We were going to have an animation where the mountains went to the other side, but then, in a tragic turn of fate, the animator had a heart attack.
Good dive.
Well, those responsible for that have been sacked, so.
Yeah, and then you just see like across the screen just and people are just like and the character is just like Well, he wouldn't write, "Ugh," he would say, "Ugh," and then die. He wouldn't actually write it. Especially not across the sky.
Well, I don't know. It just says right here. Ew. All right, Leo, go for it.
Leo!
I know! Wait, no, that wasn't him. I know!
Leo speeds up instead of turning around, though.
What are you doing? I, TJ, do not understand Euclidean space and its braking or the driving of a car.
And then Leo takes like he's going super fast. He starts skidding around a turn, as all of a sudden you hear this like music I never. Deja vu.
He just starts drifting. Welcome to non-Euclidean geometry.
No, I was gonna say it should be blasting Cotton Eye Joe. They're all rednecks out there. As he's just trying to like, all right, this hybrid is gonna go off road. We're out of here.
And this crazy banjo.
You know, that is something you definitely do not want to hear when there's this massive monster. You really don't want to hear. It's just like you hear this like running sound behind the car. It's like, oh no. Oh no.
Well, there is someone very like Deliverance about still.
It's just like squeal like a duke.
Squeal like a duke.
TJ's claws come out against my skin as he gets that scared cat look in his eyes. Leo mumbles, mostly to himself.
There's no way we're going back to Echo.
Leo, slow down a little. Leo lets out a small growl, but relents as and TJ's grip on my arm loosens some.
I'm gonna keep going until I see that car, because I sure as hell didn't turn around that time.
The tone in Leo's voice keeps any of us from arguing. Though I hate to admit it, something about his demeanor has me just a little scared of him as I am of whatever's out there.
It's because he's gone completely silent and is having his anger just boil out in every direction and is driving very recklessly through non-Euclidean space that we keep mentioning. I don't know why you would worry.
Another minute of driving, more awkward silence. Then Leo hisses through his teeth. Straight ahead of us, the headlights appear.
What? My beautiful baby car! What did that Duke and that monster do to you?
I must be dreaming. It's like we're stuck in some kind of loop. Leo slows down more and more until we come to a gentle stop. We sit there in silence, staring at my car about 100 yards in front of us. Leo starts muttering darkly to himself, looking out the windows, looking at the dashboard. I want to ask him if he's okay, but I know what the answer is. TJ makes a soft whimpering sound next to me. He is trying not to cry, and I finally put my arm around him.
It's okay. It's just dark, and we're going off-road somehow. That's right, TJ. None of the mystery stuff has happened. I will gaslight you.
That's right. I whisper whatever comes to my mind to explain what the fuck is happening. Carl has his head down in his paws, completely quiet. He could be asleep for all I know. I think about suggesting that maybe we should just wait it out until morning in the car, but as I open my mouth, I hear a scratching noise towards the back of the car. TJ's ears perk up, which lets me know that I'm not the only one. Instinctively, I turn around in my seat. Bits of glass fly into my face, and the next thing I know, I'm cowering in the seat, head down as far as I can push it. Carl, very much awake now, screams at Leo.
Oh. I just want you to be a go-go boy, Leo. Get that shirt off.
Leo's already on it, and I feel the car jolt forward. Then I'm bouncing
That
up
worked out a
and
little well.
then I'm bouncing up and down and in the seat as we go off road. Leo not bothering with a 3-point turn this time, instead going for a full U-turn. We're back on the asphalt, speeding down the road when I feel it's safe enough to raise my head back up and look out the back window. For a moment, I'm terrified of that I'm going to find that thing crouched in the trunk staring at us. But instead, all I see is a giant hole through the back window, remaining glass jagged.
Are you guys okay?
Leo looks back and forth between us.
Died, but you just keep driving.
Leo
And,
looks.
if this were like a regular Hollywood horror film, they'd be driving, and then there's all of a sudden just someone would get snatched out the back window. It'd be like
Yeah.
Carl or TJ was like, ah!
It should be like a 90s or early 2000s horror thriller movie. It's like they're driving,
like Jeepers Creepers,
and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the thing's head just comes down in front of the car. They're like, "Oh!"
Or actually, it's like TJ is like there with his arm, and then suddenly he screams, and Chase looks like beside him. He's like, "Oh no, TJ's gone, but his arm's still on my shoulder." There's like a stump,
Leo looks.
and all the TJ haters rejoiced.
Leo looks back and forth between us and the road ahead of him. I sit up fully.
I think so.
I yell.
Again, if we don't have visual injuries, there means no injuries at all, right?
Yeah. Except for the blood running down Chase's arm still right now because no one ever stitched it shut. But I yell at him.
And Chase's concussion from the car hit
Yeah.
earlier.
I yell at him over the sound of the car and the wind whistling around behind me. Carl is bent over in his seat too, brushing glass from his hat and hoodie. I look at TJ, who's still crouched over his own seat, covering his head. Bits of glass are scattered on the back of his head fur. I pick some of the pieces out of the fur on his neck and lean over him.
TJ, are you okay? Because you're such a strong, willed person that you folding right now is just out of character.
TJ shudders and doesn't say anything as I pluck some of the shards from under his collar. What was that? Kudzu shouts back at us, staring through the window.
I don't know. My journalism powers have failed me.
I don't want to think about what I actually think it was. Leo keeps up the high speed, hitting some of the potholes hard enough that I'm worried we're going to get a flat. Then we'd be in real trouble. Sorry. Then we'd be in real trouble.
You gotta really make sure they use that italics right for you, huh?
What's not italics is capitals.
So you gotta yell it.
They're shouting. We drive for another 5 minutes in silence, and then the headlights of my car appear in front of us again. This time, no one says anything, and Leo doesn't bother turning around.
He just rams head on into my car.
He just runs into. He just makes sure that he slows down enough to drive over Duke over and over and over. I watch out my window as we pass my old car.
I feel the thump of Duke underneath us. Bum, bum.
Dun, dun, dun. They should just get Duke. They should just get Duke and put his body on the car that they're driving, so that when the monster shows up, it accidentally grabs Duke and tears him off instead of, Duke is still there on the ground. No movement from where he was the last time we saw him.
No, actually, it's like the next time the monster shows up, you don't really see it. You just see Duke just suddenly drop onto the drop onto the hood while they're still gunning it down the highway, and they all just go.
No. The headless Duke then stands up and starts chasing the car.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it does that, and it's got its shirt off, and it's got this really well well-developed pecs and just like good, like great abs, and it's like holding a bomb in each arm. And it's like a T-pose, and it's just running at them, and you can hear it going.
Yeah, it's the headless bombers from Serious Sam. Oh! Since this is the area where the creature seems to be prowling, I look at the back window again. I want to be ready in case it comes through again, but nothing happens. All I see is
Chase will fight it with his fisticuffs.
Yeah. All I see is a small stretch of asphalt illuminated by the red from the tail lights, and all I hear is the wind whipping through my ears.
Well, there's nothing to stop, the wind from going between one ear and the other, so.
Brainless Chase.
I keep a hand on TJ's back as he continues to remain hunched over. Carl sits quietly, staring out his window.
Yeah.
On the bright side, the bashed-in back window has diminished the smell of sick. Sparse dots of light show up on the horizon, indicating where Echo is. That's when Leo speaks up.
Gotta look to the sunny side of life.
That's right.
And more Monty Python mentions will continue.
Gotta look on the bright side of life.
You are all individuals.
This is the life of Brian. All right. What we're gonna do is head back to my house. You guys can get some sleep while I figure out what to do next.
Leo pauses, but no one says anything.
Sound good?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, shouldn't they go to Carl's where there's a lot more space and food other than TV dinners?
Leo grunts and hunches forward into his seat again. There's a sinking feeling in my stomach at the thought of going back to Echo. There's the comfort of at least not being out in the wilderness, but I wonder if that's much worse than the town, even with that creature prowling around. I stare out the window, watching the mountains move slowly by under the moonlight as we turn into Lake Emma Road. I'm wondering if taking one of the mountain roads out of town would be worth it, whether we'd have enough gas when it happens. A crouched figure sits on the peak of the hill, just about 50 feet away from where we are. I squint at it, just barely able to make out what looks like a shoulder and a head hunched up under the light of the moon. I'm directly across from the thing when I open my mouth. I'm barely able to make a sound when it moves. It dashes down the hill in a blink of an eye, covering the distance between it and our car in a matter of 2 seconds. One moment I'm staring at a tiny black figure, and the next it's right up against the car, smashing into the side between Leo's door and mine. My head smacks into the glass, and all I see is a flash of light. At the same time I hear Kudzu shout at us to hold on. TJ screams. Carl yells. My feet are fucking freezing. I open my eyes and stare down at them. It's almost too dark to see, but I can hear the sounds of sloshing water and screaming.
I'm incredibly athletic and have sharp claws to cut the seatbelt, but I'm helpless! What?
Well, he is in a panic, so...
My head aches, and there's something in my eyes that stings. Everything's blurry.
Probably the glass.
Probably the piss from TJ.
Or Carl's vomit.
Yeah, it just washes through his face.
There's many options.
Just shoots up as soon as the car starts flipping.
Yeah, it just becomes like it just becomes aerosolized. Aerosolized. It gets in everyone's eyes, and they're like, vomit in my eyes! Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, there's
The
just
vomit pee glass combo, yeah.
Oh, there's just piss and shit and sweat. Ooh, that's sweat.
The aristocrats. Like every single time.
Go for it, Leo.
Joss, are you okay?
A big paw pound.
Because you're not going to ask about any of the others.
A big
What's the
paw.
other?
A big paw prods at my chest, and I look up. I can barely make out the outline of ears. Leo? Wait. And then it hits me. It hits me like the car crash we were just in. That thing. I look at my window again, but it's all shattered it's all shattered and a spider webbed. It's all shattered and spider webbed. But I can see what looks like water pouring through it. At the same time, I feel that icy sensation running down my back as the water comes through the broken back window like a waterfall. We crashed into the fucking lake.
Guys!
Boink, I'm good.
I grab at my seatbelt, taking way longer than it should to get undone. All the while, there's a bizarre feral yowling sound next to me. I don't realize it's TJ until his claws find my chest and arms and dig in.
Ow, TJ, stop. Calm down. You use those claws on the seatbelt.
But he doesn't even respond, continuing on with that god-awful sound.
You know, and then TJ reopens his wound because it'll just never heal.
Actually,
It
TJ.
makes it worse, yeah.
No, TJ just instantly calms down. He's like, "What? I'm panicking. What do you expect me to do?" And just goes straight back to.
Reminds me of the old producer's bit
Yeah.
where I'm hysterical. I'm having the hysteria. Slaps him. No, I'm still hysterical. Ah! Throws water on him. He's like, no, I'm still hysterical.
No, it's like airplane. No, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. Slap. And there's just a line of people. They have increasingly more violent weapons.
Oh yeah. this
Calm
keeps
down, calm.
beating on the-
One person has like a mace. One person has a warhammer.
Oh yeah, because she's been annoying the whole movie.
Yeah. All right, Carl, go for it.
Through the window, because Windows is clearly the best operating system. Take that, Mac.
Yeah, it's better than Mac. Unless you're a Linux user, then that's the best one, right?
Linux.
Carl's already up on the rear deck, trying to push through the water coming in.
Come on, let's go.
Carl's
I am now leadership Carl. This is I took off my detective hat, put on my leadership beanie.
Carl's screaming, panicked voice disappears suddenly, and I can only hope that it's because he got out.
Chase, Chase, come on! We need you to get out.
I feel Leo's big paw grabbing at me, but I turn and push them away.
Go for it, Chase.
I'm fine. Let me help TJ.
Chase!
Leo, I'm a fucking otter. The water at this point is up to my chest. The car's front end is tipped down, and the water and the sparse moonlight coming in through the back. I can see it's up to Leo's neck. Kudzu is somehow in the back with me and TJ, where Curl was. He's staring at me, wide eyes, looking torn between escaping and helping me. Go, Kudzu! Through the window. Leo, get out through your door.
Chase! Chase!
Go! I scream at him.
I'm back.
Okay. I scream at basically everyone, and I can only hope they do as I say as I duck down and the water goes over my head. The quiet peace of underwater is a sharp contrast to the fucking chaos in my brain is in. Somehow, in the wreck, back seat crushed forward, and TJ's seatbelt buckle is lost somehow in the crease. I grit my teeth. I can only hold my breath for 10 minutes, but I know for most other species, it's less than 2.
Especially when they're screaming.
Far less if you're panicked out of your mind like TJ is. I grit my teeth, and as calmly as I grit my teeth as I calmly try to reach between the folds, between the seats and the back, despite the desperate clawing the lynx is giving me. Again, though, it's too far wedged in to get a hold on. Soon my calm demeanor melts away as I fumble uselessly with the seatbelt, and time stubbornly marches on.
I can imagine it's only like the butt cheeks of the car.
I feel myself start to panic as I just grab TJ around the body and yank as hard as I can. But it's no use at all. And when I pull on the chest strap, it's jammed and I can't get any slack. TJ's grasping and clawing starts to become weaker. I try to think of something to use to cut the strap, but there's nothing.
Only the sharp claw that kept, attacking you. If only you could just, grab his paw and then just use his nail.
Oh yeah, but claws don't really cut; they kind of just tear.
Yeah, but a good tear,
Maybe a shard of glass? I move up and away from TJ towards the back window, trying to ignore how he weakly tries to clutch at me. As I reach up to the seat, though, my hand slips between the headrest and the rear deck. I reach further and realize that it's the trunk of the car. With a lunge, I reach down and feel along the bottom of the seat back. My paw runs up against something hard and metal. I know I found what I'm looking for. I grab up the buckle and unlatch it. Swimming around as quickly as I can, I grab the strap across TJ's chest and set my feet against the seats. I pull back as hard as I can, and just like that, it comes undone. I scoop up TJ, his limp body giving me an extra burst of adrenaline as I set my feet against the back of the driver's seat and push out. My aim is a little off as my head hits the ceiling instead, but I'm able to quickly find the hole pretty quickly and kick through it.
Yeah, that's funny. He's just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, takes his big action moment and thunk.
It reminds me of like the cat that we had once. Remember Tobias? And I remember sometimes you'd jump off like the couch or something and land next to him and be like, ah! And he'd just give you this startled look and then just run directly away from you and just like run into something.
Oh yeah, I remember him doing that a lot. That was hilarious. That's such a good cat.
Poor cat.
But he would just like turn head like and just run like forehead first into like a wall. It was like one time he went to go like I kind of startled him and he went to spin around and run, but he just like jammed his nose into like the threshold of a door and he just sat there. It's kind of like it was like he was constantly like.
Yeah, he had that look on his face like, son of a bitch. And then he'd like run around it.
Yeah.
He was a good cat.
Yeah, he was a good cat. I love that cat. We were just a little too hard on him.
Yeah, we were just little bastards, but he was a good cat.
We were little assholes, yeah. Love that boy.
It's a little awkward to undulate my body into a nice, clean swim with TJ's weight, but I manage it well enough, and within seconds we break the surface. I breathe out into the air while TJ coughs and sputters. His arms wrap around my neck tightly, and I have to put a paw under his arm to keep him from strangling me.
TJ, we're good. You're good. Calm down. Because you can do that instantly.
Yeah. And TJ's not flailing around anymore. Like, TJ, we're good. You're good. Calm down. TJ's just like basically asleep.
I look around and I'm amazed to see how far we are from the shore. It's a good 100 yards away. I can already see Kudzu standing there, and Leo's in the shallows, shouting at Carl, who's a few feet further in, splashing around. I kick off in that direction as TJ continues to hyperventilate into my ear.
TJ, it's okay. Remember, you used to ride on my back in the lake. It's just like old times, where an otter drowned.
I try to adopt a soothing tone between my ragged gasps for air. DJ does finally settle on my back, though his arms are still around my neck. Still, not better than him dragging me down with him. His gasps calm down as we get closer to shore, tapering off into that weird sort of mumbling sound. I can make out a few words, though. One of them is a name, Sydney. I frown and swim a bit faster, wanting to get him to dry land so that he can get his wits back together. Meanwhile, Carl finally grabs onto Leo's outstretched paws and the pulls him back into shore. All the while, he stares at me and TJ intently.
He didn't deserve, that ice cream he got that day. He was just a beach. Also, I'd probably also he didn't deserve, actual death. But, I made a child's wish. At least in the Welcome to Echo version.
I shush him gently as I finally feel my toes find the sandy bottom of the lake. I gently pull the lynx back with me to the narrow strip of sand between the lake and the incline that slopes up to the road. Carl's already there, flat on his back, spread eagle, so I do the same with TJ, laying him down right next to the ram. He's still trying to talk, though. Hello?
Jeez, did Sydney? How long was it that I think I saw you murder him? Because, it's otter on otter combat.
I gently put a paw over the lynx's muzzle.
Yeah, TJ, shut up about the murder, eh?
Quiet.
It's all right, man. Just relax and breathe. And do not talk about the murder.
Kuzu stands next to me and starts to reach out to touch my shoulder. You okay? And then a much paw comes out from behind me.
I assume there was supposed to be a larger in there?
No, a much smaller paw.
Yep.
And it's not actually a paw. It's just a
no.
Yeah, Jenna just appears out of the mist, and it's just like, no, I want to hug the chase now.
It's
a much more phallic paw comes out.
No, I got this. And then a much paw comes out from behind me, pushing Kudzu's arm aside as I'm pulled back into a tight hug. Leo huffs in my ear.
Oh, thank God. You were under for so long.
I'm okay. I am an aquatic animal, Leo. Why aren't you showing any concern to the other 3 people that almost died? Especially TJ, that I had to do like an underwater action scene to save.
Because they won't give me their holes.
I reach back with a paw, setting it against the side of Leo's face. When I bring it back, I see that it's a bit darker than it should be. I look back and immediately see a gash on the side of Leo's face.
If you rearrange these words, he's just insulting. Instead of you shithead. Gotta make sure I read that right.
Leo brushes off my paws.
Your head. I think we both hit our windows when something hit us.
And flung you across the town.
Yeah, really, like launched you into space.
I reach up, feeling around my forehead before I feel a sore, sticky spot in my fur. It isn't a bad cut, but it's definitely leaking a good amount of blood.
I don't know how my hand, because got changed with my head, or my arm changed with my head. But there it is, the same gash
Well,
on my head.
yeah, no, he's got two now, so
My
you know.
my head and my arm just changed places.
Like, like
No,
eventually
he's
he'll
got
just be
two
nothing but
concussions, so
gashes.
he's just the blood. He's just the